I really would rather have my daughter back. She wasn't there for my birthday. She wasn't there at Christmas. She wasn't there at Thanksgiving. She won't ever be there again. She'll be forever 32. But I'm not going to let that be in vain. I'm not going to let that be wasted. My name is Susan Breaux. I'm the mother of Heather Heyer, the young woman who was killed in the rallies in Charlottesville, Virginia, August 12th.
Welcome to our series, What I've Learned, which is where we talk to seemingly ordinary, everyday people about the extraordinary personal stories which have happened to them in their lives. Now, back in August 2017, America and even the world were shocked by the events in Charlottesville in Virginia when white nationalists marched on the city. And in the resulting clashes between the white supremacists and the anti-fascists, a 32-year-old girl called Heather Heyer was killed.
All I saw were people flying away, and then I saw a car. I saw a windshield smashed, I saw a bumper torn, I saw it peel away, and then I looked to my left and I saw Heather Heyer lying on the ground. And I saw the life pass from her eyes, and I watched her die.
But yet, despite that tragedy, her mother has now dedicated her life to her daughter's memory and to her daughter's legacy. And so this is our interview with Susan Breaux, the mother of Heather Heyer.
Heather was born a passionate person. Whatever she chose to feel or believe or act on, she always did with passion and intensity. She was always an intense person, even from birth.
When do you remember Heather first becoming or being so passionate about fairness and equality and justice?
Well, the first I knew of it was probably in high school because she had a friend her best friend was gay, and she was passionate about advocating for his rights. And I learned after she died from a lot of other people that she had been doing that her whole life. Once we started those conversations after high school, when she was a grown woman, probably in the last 4 or 5 years, we pretty much every conversation had to do at least some with equality, civil rights, some discussion about that, whether in person or not. More in person. Occasionally we would text about that, but we just found it easier to talk about that because it's hard to get all those words typed in. We always said it's kind of ironic. We wouldn't have expected anything less than this much attention for anything Heather did, especially her death would have to have been something tremendous and tragic. It's just who she was. I think everybody's aware that Black people don't get a fair shake. I think that we're lying to ourselves if we say otherwise. But I never really brought it home so intensely to me as when her boyfriend living with us, who was Black, and we would go to dinner, we'd get the dirty looks, we'd get the snide remarks from time to time. I began to realize just how much day to day the struggle can be just to be alive and be Black in America. Justin called. The very fact that he called said something was wrong to me, because he never calls me unless something's wrong. He was crying. I couldn't really understand what he was talking about. He said something about that car. I think that car hit her. And I said, "What car? I don't know what you're talking about." Meanwhile, my son has called because he was watching the rally on TV. He saw a car hit the crowd. He called his sister, and a stranger answered her phone and said they'd found her phone on a sidewalk. So I get to the hospital, and they say, "Come with us." And 2 women grabbed me, one on either side, very tightly. And all I can think is, oh my God, oh my God. Because even if you know, you don't want to know. And I walked in the room, and the detective said, "Your daughter was pronounced." And I just put my head down. It was something between a scream and a wail. And And then I just went home, and every time I closed my eyes that night, I heard the detective saying those words again. I cried all night long. I kept watching the videos on TV. I couldn't figure out exactly who was Heather. I didn't even know what she was wearing that day. There was one girl wearing green and a green shirt and black pants. I thought was Heather maybe. And she went flying up over the car, but that wasn't Heather. I didn't even know how Heather had worn her hair that day. Since then, I've seen videos. She had her hair in a tight braid in the back, a long braid, and she was wearing all black. So I never actually saw anything in the videos to tell me one way or the other. The first time I knew was when I heard what the medical examiner's report had said.
I guess, I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like to see that kind of video and know what that video means in terms of what it shows.
I had to know what my daughter's last moments were. How did she die exactly? What exactly happened? I've since talked to a lot of other people who have lost a loved one, and the reactions are mixed. Some people don't want to know. They just don't want to hear anything about it. But other people are like me, where they feel like they have to know exactly what happened. It's like we can't have closure until we have every bit of information. I don't know why I need that, but I need that. I need that closure. I need to know exactly what happened. A lot of people never get that about their loved one. But for me, because of the nature of the event, there happened to be hundreds of photographers there. So I know that there's pictorial evidence of what happened to my child, and I want to see that.
Do you feel you are close to that closure in terms of knowing?
Well, I know, but I still want to see. The picture that I have shows her looking into the guy's face right before he hits her. He may have already hit her because she has a dazed look on her face, and it looks like maybe he's already hit her because it looks like there may be a lump on her head. When I saw the body, there was evidence that her head had come down on the hood of the car, or on something, I don't know. I just need to know. I just need to know. It's just who I am. The funeral reception was a few blocks down, and when we drove past here leaving, I lost it. I screamed, and it was like a knife stabbing me to drive by it at that point. But I have a habit of, if something's hard, I just face it and try to get through it. So I was determined to face this and deal with it, and not be pushed by it, but to push back. I think my initial reaction was, you tried to shut my child up and you don't have that right. I guess I was being content in a way to speak quietly to people about what I believed in, and Heather was out there standing up for it. And once they tried to shut her up, it's like they knocked the baton out of her hand, and I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to run even faster and harder with it, and I'm going to continue passing that message off to other people. The people who held the rally, the statues don't mean them, let's be honest. The statues mean nothing to them. What means something to them is stirring up trouble. The people who held that rally lied to most of the people and said that people were trying to erase white history, that people were trying to quell freedom of speech. I've talked to some of the people who came to the rally that day, and that's what they were told. But that's not what it's about. It's about white supremacy. That's what the people who held the rally truly believe in. That's what they practice. That's what they preach.
You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, or you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
I was not happy more with his statement that there were good people on both sides. No, there are not good Nazis. No, there are not good white supremacists. The very essence of their philosophy is that of evil, and you cannot call them good people. The cemetery and I have an agreement that her remains will remain secret, and I also wouldn't want people coming there to pay their respects. There's an impromptu memorial downtown where you can pay your respects, but leave my daughter's remains to me, please, and family. The Heather Heyer Foundation was formed with the purpose in mind of distributing scholarships. Initially, a scholarship to Heather's High School and one to Charlottesville High School. Then we hoped to offer those to people who were going to be either paralegals or lawyers. It helps me get through the pain because it gives me something to do. It does not bring me any peace or closure, particularly just the act of doing it, because I keep thinking, what the hell am I doing? Who am I to speak up? The tireder I am, the harder it is, but I'm determined to push forward for Heather's sake. I'm determined to push forward for the sake of the need of the message, and I have so much learning to do. I have so much growing to do as an activist. I'm so new at this. I'm constantly learning new things. I'm constantly gaining new understandings that I'm trying to then pass on to people.